Back in 1979, the United States found itself in a major international crisis. During the Iran hostage crisis, Iranian revolutionaries stormed the U.S. Embassy in Tehran and took 52 Americans hostage. For more than a year, the hostages remained captive while the administration of Jimmy Carter struggled to resolve the situation. Even a rescue attempt known as Operation Eagle Claw ended in failure. During this tense moment in 1980, a young New York businessman named Donald Trump was asked what he thought about the situation. His answer focused on one key idea, an idea about power, respect, and how nations treat each other. And that idea is something we'll come back to and break down at the end of this video. So let's watch this clip and hear what he had to say.
When you get the respect of the other countries, then the other countries tend to do a little bit as you do, and you can create the right attitudes. The Iranian situation is a case in point. That they hold our hostages is just absolutely and totally ridiculous. That this country sits back and allows a country such as Iran to hold our hostages, to my way of thinking, is a horror. And I don't think they'd do it with other countries.
Now, that clip is interesting for a few reasons, and those reasons start to become clearer the moment we look a little deeper at what was actually being said. First, consider the timing. This interview happened in 1980, long before Donald Trump ever entered politics. At the time, he wasn't running for office. He was just a young businessman sharing his opinion during a national crisis. And when we see it that way, one thing stands out. What he's talking about isn't a campaign message, it's his personal way of thinking. And at the center of that thinking is one simple idea: respect. Not just respect between people, but respect between countries. To understand that better, think about a simple everyday example. Imagine someone at work who always lets others push responsibilities onto them. At first it's small tasks, minor favors, nothing dramatic. But over time, people begin to see that person as someone they can take advantage of. The situation keeps going like that, until the moment they finally stand their ground. And then everything changes. People start thinking twice before trying the same thing again. That's exactly the principle Trump was pointing to, except applied to international politics. Nations are always watching each other, measuring reactions, testing limits. Which is why the Iran hostage crisis became such a defining moment. For over a year, 52 Americans were held hostage while the administration of Jimmy Carter struggled to act. And as the months dragged on, critics said the situation was sending a dangerous message, that the U.S. was no longer projecting the strength it once had. Now whether someone agrees with that criticism or not, one thing becomes clear: in global politics, perception matters. If rivals believe leadership is hesitant, they may push further. But when leadership appears confident and decisive, many conflicts never even begin. Decades before entering politics, the same themes were already there: strength, respect, and the idea that how a country shows itself shapes how the world treats it. When you see it like that, the clip becomes more than an old interview. It's an early glimpse into a philosophy of leadership that would later shape a major political approach.